or things that you're looking forward to. And today's icebreaker, to make sure everyone's camera works and everyone's microphone works, is what is your favorite breakfast? And mine would probably be an egg sandwich. And I have to put a little shout out for Renard's Bakery in Princeton, Wisconsin, which has some of the best breakfast sandwiches that I've ever had. So that's my favorite. Julie, why don't you jump in next?
You know, I was up in Door County and there was a restaurant up there that served cherry waffles. They were excellent.
Were the cherries in the batter or were they on top of the waffle?
They were both. And it was just excellent. I've never had them since then. I've never found another place that served them, but it was very good.
Chris Kalupa, why don't you share?
Well, I would say it's a toss-up between cream cheese stuffed waffles and Rice Krispies with bananas.
Rice Krispies with bananas?
Yeah, that's my go-to on the weekends. Like, I absolutely love them. Which, once you pour them in, you can't talk to anybody. So don't answer the phone and don't text me while I'm eating my cereal.
Cindy, how about you?
My breakfast is my favorite meal of the day, so I would eat breakfast 3 meals a day if I could, but ham and cheese omelet would be my to-go breakfast.
Melissa?
So I actually haven't been eating breakfast since I've started working from home that often because it's actually strangely hard. But what I normally go for is overnight oats because then I can make them the night before and just have them whenever I remember to actually get up from the computer and start working and eat breakfast. And I like a lot of it because I can throw in kind of whatever. Is it going to be sliced mango? Is it going to be some peaches, mixed berries, whatever? And it's just nice, easy, do it the night before and call it a day.
Great. Hannah, why don't you share?
Lucky Charms.
Lucky Charms, that's great.
I love breakfast too, so I've just been eating a lot of Lucky Charms lately, so we'll go with that.
How about you, Ruth? Oh, you remuted yourself, I think.
Okay. McDonald's Big Breakfast.
Nicole.
I came in late. I'm guessing we're asking about breakfast.
Yeah, what's your favorite breakfast? Sorry.
Oh, my husband makes this awesome grilled breakfast scramble, and then he also grills the tortillas, and it's amazing. So awesome. It's really good.
How about you, Deb?
Okay.
Oh. I think she froze. So
no, I got it.
You got it. Okay.
Blueberry scone and caramel latte.
I'm so glad I asked this question, but I'm also now very hungry. You guys are great. Jeannie, how about you?
Oh, my husband makes the best omelets, and then I don't have to do anything. But I also like frosted mini wheats.
Yes.
You can eat them wet or dry.
Oh, excellent. How about you, Gretchen?
Breakfast is a big deal at our house too. I love Eggs Benedict, but I also love potatoes, any kind of potatoes for breakfast.
Excellent. You guys are all, now I want to change my answer to literally everything you said. How about you, Lori?
I am a French toast fan.
Mm-hmm.
So put some strawberries on them. Yeah.
Excellent. How about you, Linda?
Christmas Eve was Eggs Benedict.
It's a really hard question for me because I love breakfast of all kinds. I like to do 2 breakfasts, skip lunch. So like a scone for early morning breakfast with lots of coffee, and then any kind of breakfast bake for kind of a brunch thing.
Excellent.
Second
breakfast. I'm not hungry till supper.
Yeah. How about you, Kate?
Same thing every morning. Ezekiel sprouted grain bread and hummus every morning, 7 days a week, 365 days a year.
Stephanie.
I like just
plain old pancakes with maple syrup. Pretty boring, but
that's good. If you're just joining us, we're sharing our favorite breakfast food. So I might call on you to check to make sure that your audio is working. Christina.
I'm a big fan of quiche.
What kind of quiche?
Oh, all of them, but if it's got bacon and cheese in it, I'm there.
Vicky. You're here. Okay.
At our house, the favorite breakfast is called Eggs Newport. And
Okay.
it's boiled eggs and mushrooms and onions and bacon and mushroom soup. And then you bake that and you eat it over toast. It's really good.
That sounds great. How about you, Christy?
My favorite go-to I have almost every morning is cheesy hash browns with an egg over easy on top.
Very exciting. How about you, Joy?
At home, I'll have yogurt and granola, but if I want to splurge, there's a restaurant in Oshkosh that makes cornmeal pancakes that have Door County cherries. Yeah.
Where's that? How come I don't know about it?
That's Pilora's, Carla.
Really? I didn't know they made cornbread. Oh, okay.
Pilora's is the best.
Hey, Joy, Julia Medcalf is having trouble finding us. She's in Teams and not in Zoom. Could you resend her a link?
Who was it that was having trouble?
Julia.
Julie at Oxford. Will do.
Yep. Lisa Voss, can you share your favorite breakfast food?
All of them. I don't think there are too many breakfasts I don't like, but I guess if I had to choose a favorite, it would be a cherry and white chocolate chips homemade scone.
Excellent. How about you,
Lisa, keep
Desiree?
your camera forward.
Yeah,
We're
we
only seeing
get your forehead.
That's
Maybe
by
that's all she
design. That is by design. I'm at home and I'm ugly, so careful with it. All right, you asked for it.
Jeff, you can share your favorite breakfast, and you should probably change your name because I don't think you're Joy, but
I'll share my breakfast first, then I'll fix my name.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you what my favorite breakfast ever was. It was at a place in the lower downtown neighborhood in Denver called Lodo. It's a restaurant called The Delectable Egg. And it was just your basic eggs and sausage and bacon and pancakes and orange juice that they just kept pouring. It was like the best basic, eggs and bacon breakfast ever. And it was just an awesome place.
Excellent.
And I'll fix my name now.
We'll just continue the OPL theme. And so Marie, you're next.
The way my confirmation email got to Clutter, so I found it there. Thank you for sending that.
Sure. Marie, your quality is very poor.
I love breakfast for dinner, but my go-to for morning time actually is usually English muffin with peanut butter and bananas.
Well, I did get that breakfast for dinner and English muffin with bananas, but I will say, Marie, your audio quality and your video quality are not very good right now.
Camera.
Yeah, Marie, you may need to want to turn
in a
off.
fairly dark area.
Marie, you may want to turn off the video feed. It may help with your bandwidth.
All righty, Carla.
Well, I did get. So Jeff inspired me again with his answer, which is my best
Okay, I
breakfast.
must not have a very good connection. I'm home for lunch and
Somebody's
my
home for
video.
lunch.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know who. Oh, there's the second
Is
page.
it a little bit better?
Whoops.
Oh, Marie. Oh, Marie's trying to see if her audio is better. I see.
Oh, okay.
So I've
That's
got
much better,
just
Marie.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you.
Yep. Okay, go ahead, Carla.
So my favorite breakfast ever was it's in a place that I'm not sure if it's still there, but it was in Milwaukee called Benjamin's Deli on, oh God, was it like almost, it was just off of Capitol near the university. I can't remember what that other street is, but anyway, they have something called Hopple Popple. And it's your classic Jewish deli. And Hopple Popple, it's like cubed potatoes with sausage and onion, and I think there was egg and cheese and peppers, and I mean it was just like all this hashy and yum 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 yum.
That's great.
And great ambiance. I mean, it just such a slice of culture.
I remember going there once on your recommendation. It was.
Desiree.
I like cold cereal also, but I also like going to the Marriott Residence Inn breakfast buffets, which are usually included with your hotel, because you're on vacation and they have all sorts of fancy food, including brie cheese sometimes. So it's just it's a really nice way to start the day when you're on vacation. So
yeah. If you're joining us late, we're just sharing our favorite breakfast foods. So Julia.
I have a lot, so I can keep you for a long time, but I think recently my favorite place is Renard's in Princeton. Their breakfast sandwich is out of this world. They make the bread, and I don't know what kind of eggs they are, but they're big. And the bacon is specially harvested locally. I hate to talk about it. And everything is unusually fabulous about it. So
Well, yeah, I also recommended Renard's breakfast sandwich. So
oh, did you?
Yes. So clearly it is the place to go.
Yes. Although let me give you some unhappy news. They are not serving their breakfast.
Right. It's too hard right now.
Yeah.
All righty. Let's see. Colette, do you have a microphone?
Yes, I am here.
Hi.
Yeah, I guess like everybody, the best breakfasts are when you eat out and don't have to eat. But probably a pecan waffle. Missed that for quite some time now. So,
John Mark.
Hey, I'm here. I just have my camera off. I've got bandwidth issues, so I want to keep it working. Can you hear me fine?
Yes, no problem.
Great. I think one of our favorite breakfasts here at home is something called a baked apple pancake, where you kind of brown the apples in a cast iron skillet with brown sugar and butter, and then you add a batter on top of it and then bake it in the oven. It's based on a classic Chicago style breakfast. So
wow.
I'd say if not that, one of my favorite breakfasts when I lived in Japan was going to McDonald's because you could get a filet of fish sandwich for breakfast, and that's my favorite. So I would eat that there.
Holly.
Hello. For breakfast, I like to make popovers. It's like an English food that my dad used to make growing up. So it's like a bread that pops up in the oven and looks like a giant mushroom when it's done, but it tastes really good with butter, lots of butter.
Michelle.
I don't really eat breakfast. I'm more, I guess brunch would be the closest since I'm not a breakfast person. I'm not usually hungry in the morning. And honestly, anything I can eat that somebody else cooks is fine with me.
I'm really impressed that we made it through as many people as we did before someone said I'm not really a breakfast person, because I was a little worried about this question. And Paul, I think you're our last one. If you have not been called and you're not Paul, raise your hand and I will call you. But go ahead, Paul.
Bacon.
Bacon. Okay, that's simple. That's easy. Okay, so I think the plan is when we can actually meet in person again, we'll do a breakfast potluck and we'll all hang out and have breakfast together. And that's it for me in the first half, and I'm going to turn it over to Carla and Melissa to talk to you about Click and Connect.
That means I have to unmute.
Yes.
Okay, so Click and Collect. Let me see if this is going to work for me. It is. Awesome. Okay, if it doesn't go to sleep on me. So anyway, Click and Collect is a new part of our regular mobile app. Cersei Dynix and the company that developed our mobile app added this module because of all of the COVID stuff and the need for a way to help libraries do curbside service. They got the idea from Australia, and the Australians call it Click and Collect, and therefore that name is sort of what it sort of stuck. And it makes it really easy for the patron, because the patron will be able to see what they have on hold, push a button, say Click and Collect, and then connect with the library to let you know that they are on their way to come and pick up their stuff. So I am going to, let's see, I'm going to share my screen, except the host disabled participant screen sharing. So host, could you enable participant screen sharing, please?
I just did as co-host.
There we go. Thank you. Okay, so then I am going to share this screen. You should be seeing a nice view of Horicon Marsh at the moment. And I think if I go like this.
Caption, like the road goes ever onward.
Yes. And then I just need this to connect like it's supposed to. Oh, that's really weird looking. Haha, there we go. Okay, now you should be seeing my phone. Yes?
Mm-hmm.
Good, okay. So here's the Winnefox app. And the patron gets to go to my account. Slide this over a little bit so I'm not quite so, oh wait, I can't click on it. I have to use my phone. I'm using my mouse and clicking on my screen. And then I go to holds. This is really bizarre to, it's like I always want to go to the wrong thing. So anyway, so now you can see what's being held for me. I have crime and human nature and being held. And I have two cards linked together. So the my holds are for the Batman test card, and then that card is linked to Carla U. Smith, my real card, and I can see all of the holds that are being held for me right here. And for our demo today, we're going to pretend that Oshkosh is actually using this.
It is not, but I will be pretending that I am Oshkosh staff for about 30 minutes, and that's as much as I ever want to be a circulation person ever again. I'm sorry.
So for host or co-host, Melissa will also need to share her screen at some point.
Yeah, I can see the option to share my screen, so that's fine.
Okay, cool. So anyway,
this is patron side.
So this is the patron side first. So here I am, and I want to come and pick up my books that are being held for me. And so I just go to and press the little Click and Collect button. And it's thinking about it. And I'm going to click and collect these things. I have 10 items being held to pick up for me right now at Oshkosh. And that is the combination of Batman's and Carla's things. And you can see on the screen down here, the ones that are for Carla are labeled as such. Apparently I am primarily logged in as Batman, so it thinks that Carla is somebody else and that I'm really Batman, which is okay by me. Anyway, so you can say, well, I'm going to pick up, and by default, they're all checked, but I don't really want to pick up crime and detection yet. And I don't want to pick up some of these other ones. I certainly don't want to pick up that one because I'm not in the building, and I don't want to pick up that one. Oh, and this one arrived. I'm not going to pick up that one. So I just really right now want to pick up some of these song books and the crime books. And so I'll pick them up for Batman and for Carla. And then I get to say I am on my way, or I can cancel my pickup request, but I'm on my way. And then I get to choose how long it will take me to get there. I can say use my location, which would use the GPS on my phone and geo-track me on my way to your library. Or I can say, well, I'll be there like in 5 minutes. Or I can just say, ha, I'm here now. And so I'm going to say that I'll be here in 15 minutes. That should give a little bit of time. But also I'm going to say that I'm here so that I can see so we can see the other half. So one thing I'll mention here, which is not set up on Oshkosh's version, is it could have a little thing about, nope, never mind, not yet, car and stuff like that, but that comes later. So we're going to say
that's
I'm
actually
here.
It's on one of them. Anyways.
So so I've clicked I'm here, and a message comes from Oshkosh Public Library, the standard, thanks, it won't be long now. And I could send them a message saying like no parking spot or something like that. I mean, it's a way that so they can say, which curbside location are you at? Melissa just typed that in on her end, and I can say spot 1 and send that, and then she will get it.
Mm-hmm.
So before I say done, I have my items. Should we show the backside, or do people have questions on the patron side first?
Well, before we say, we're moving on, let's actually close this one out and check out these items to you. Does that sound good?
Well, we want to show that part, right? So you go ahead and show that.
Okay, then I'm going to share my screen, and you will stop seeing Carla's screen. And it should be this one. Okay, everyone is seeing I have items that are arrived, and 3 items. Here's at the staff side, I sent, this won't be long, and which curbside location are you at? But now from this staff interface, I can say, check out these 3 items to this patron. And it will tell me that, yes, all 3 items were checked out successfully. So I don't need to go into workflows and find the patron in checkout, find the items and manually check them out. I can do that all through the staff interface. And then from there, the patron.
Oh, and notice, so in this on there where it says checkout success, do back, and it gives a date, but this one says for Smith Carla. So it checked it out to the right people. Okay. With 1 click.
I will say that it will not print a receipt from this staff interface because it's really hard to convince a browser to print something for security reasons all across the internet. So if the patron says, or if we say, do you want a receipt?
Ah, I lost my thing went away. There it is. Nope.
In that case, then we can just simply take the items out to curbside location 1, either place them in the trunk or on the little trolley book cart. Patron gets their items, and the patron says,
done. I have my items. And it
that
disappeared.
clears it. Yep.
However, what happens if I forgot something and I want to pick it up now? Like I want to go back and zoom through again, or I went off and I did some grocery shopping, and now I want the rest of my stuff. So I'm going to, whoops, I'll do my end and uncheck some of these and put some more on hold.
Because you had to read 3 books in the shopping market parking lot before you came and got more, right?
That's right.
Or you looked at them and you realized, oh, to hell with these. All right.
So now I'm on my way.
Yep, and you can see
and
that.
I'm going to say it'll be 15 minutes.
Yep. I will add that there was a really loud, obnoxious bling in my headset once that clicked in saying, I am on my way. So even if this is minimized, you will get an audio alert that's very clearly, hey, you have to check this right now. So from the staff side, they see, okay, I have Test Batman with 2 items and they are on their way in 15 minutes. Now, I want to make very clear what this items pulled means, and Carla will probably overlap with me a little bit here. So these are for only items which are, or only for holds which are already available. So they've been pulled, they've been trapped. These are sitting, under your counter at the desk or over on the hold shelf. These are available holds. When you say items pulled, that means I went to the hold shelf, I found the 2 holds for Batman Test, and I pulled them, and now they're sitting at the circ desk waiting for them to be checked out. And likewise, when it says reshelve these 2 items, that doesn't mean the hold is canceled. That means we waited for the patron to say, I'm here. We waited, and now it's the end of the day and they didn't show up. I can say we've shelved these 2 so that they go back to the hold shelf, and maybe the patron will actually come and pick them up tomorrow. However, you'll notice this 15 has changed to a 14. So it does kind of give a nice little countdown of about how long is the patron out in real time. Meanwhile, and now the patron says they've arrived. Note that the little 14 has now become 0. This now reflects the number of minutes they've been waiting. And as it goes up, say the library is really busy, if it gets beyond 5 minutes, this blue icon here will turn red because that patron has been waiting for 5 minutes. And then we go through the same process that we showed you on the other end. I can send, what slot are you in? The patron can respond.
Oops, I keep missing the send button.
It's worth noting that for some of these messages that you see me typing again and again and again, we can set a list of default responses for the library to be able to simply click from this drop down and auto send them. So instead of typing in what slot are you in 50 million times a day, you can do the 1 click to send the message to the patron. Same thing with do you want a receipt? And even though I'm waiting for the patron to respond, I can still say, well, I know I'm going to be checking these items out to her. Check out the 2 items. It shows that they are checked out successfully. Shows when the checkouts are due back. And in this case, since the patron does want a receipt, I would have to go over to workflows, pull up the user, and do a checkout and right click and print checkout receipt, which is probably the easiest way of going about and doing that. Other than that, at this point, I grab the items, trot them out, find which car she is, fling them into her trunk because this was a rude patron, and come back and I can say, we are done. And that clears my dashboard, waiting for the next patron.
And so some of the things that could show up are like if you have multiple slots, or if you've got a line of cars or whatever, you can ask them, so what model car do you have, or what color is your car, or something like that. So you can identify where to drop it off, right? If you don't have specific slots, or you can ask, I don't know what other sort of questions you could ask, or if they're walking up, if they're just, you can say like, I don't know,
Drive up, walk up.
I'm a walk up, yeah, or I'm wearing a blaze orange sweater or whatever, so there are standardized, customized question form that you can insert into the app, so that you don't have to chat it back and forth, even with the predefined questions.
So I see we have a couple of questions in the chat.
Yep.
One, will the drop down be individual library? So yes, if Oshkosh wants to ask, do you want a receipt? Oshkosh can have that. If someone like Berlin or Coloma just wants to ask, I'm trying to think of a good email receipt instead, you can do a click and choose that one. So the individual messages can be customized to different libraries. Okay. Next question, can the patron choose a different library to pick up location? And another one that's about the same thing. What if the patron uses multiple libraries and has holds available at various places? Carla?
Good questions. So we tested this. So the patron can only pick up those holds that are at the pickup library, even just as normal. They wouldn't be, even if they weren't using the app and it was 2019, they still couldn't pick up the holds that are available at Oshkosh. They couldn't pick those up at Ripon or at Neenah. Same thing. The app doesn't confuse them that way. If they're a patron, if their holds are for pickup at Neenah and they're and you click and collect, that's hard to say sometimes. It will know which ones are where.
Mm-hmm. And
I
so
guess
if
what
they-
I'm asking is it really obvious on the app?
Yes.
Ones are
It's very, very stupidly obvious. So Colin and I tried this, and it will say click and collect from Oshkosh, click and collect from Neenah. And then that first button that you click to say, okay, I'm going to use click and collect to pick up my items, that will limit them to just items for pickup at that library. And so if they are picking up from, if they have multiple things available and they all use click and collect, they will have to say this library, that library, which makes sense because you are probably not going to be doing the Winnefox wide lap. Another question from Ruth, what if the card is blocked? Carla?
Yes, there will be a message. And I am just setting that up right now. And why didn't it give me oh, yes, it did. Okay, close. All right, so if I now go to click and collect and try and do something.
I think we're still seeing Melissa's screen.
Yeah,
Yep.
I know. I'm not sharing anything yet because it's going to show up on Melissa's screen.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I see. Okay.
You want to see what the staff say.
Yep. So I have, oh my God, I did too many at once. I'm running out of holds. Okay, so I'm going to only do one of these. I'm going to do that one. And I'm going to say I'm on my way. And I will be here in 5 minutes. And I pulled that one.
Grab that one. And is the patron here?
Nope. I'm almost here. There we go.
are. Okay, here's the patron. And I don't have any questions to ask them at this time. If I click checkout item, it will say checkout failed, the user is blocked. You get the barcode of the user and the barcode of the item so that you could scan this with your scanner into workflows. And so that's a quicker and easier way of looking up and remembering, oh shoot, now which barcode is this and which item was this? So from there you go into workflows and you do your normal, okay, which patron is this? Why are they blocked? Kind of a thing.
Yep.
Carla?
And you can have multiple staff you can have multiple logins into this the dashboard. So you can have five of these dashboards open, or however many. There's a setting where you can also, there are also settings that will let you know how many people can be in queue at once. So so you don't have 50 people waiting.
I'm just showing that really briefly right now. So for Oshkosh, we have a max queue of 1. That means we get 1 patron in the ready queue at a time. So this is where we can say, okay, actually 10 people are about what we can handle at once. However, if staff are out sick or go to lunch or gosh darn it, have to take a break, you can adjust this max queue to something else. So instead of the 10, it could say, okay, we can only handle about half that number right now until they come back. And so you can set the queue length, handle your patrons until they come back. When you have full staff again, you can set the new queue length to be whatever it normally is.
And the patron gets a message saying that it isn't available for them right now. If it's, you know.
Okay. Other things, Carla?
What about some of those other things over there, the view forthcoming sessions and some of that stuff?
So this is more, if there's nothing on your dashboard and you're kind of curious, if you click forthcoming sessions, that is.
Oh, what do I have to do to make that?
I can do something to make that.
Okay.
Probably. Carla, we're going to have a talk about what you just did, but that's fine.
What did I just do?
Okay, so let me close out of there, and then I want to see forthcoming sessions. Okay, so you can see a patron is sitting on the app, looking at click and collect, and is maybe doing check boxes of, you know, I'm checking which holds I am going to pick up, or I just opened it and I forgot to hit, you know, I'm on my way. You can see someone is sitting here doing something with it. It's forthcoming, and here's when they started it. It just lets you know that, okay, is this a good time to go on break, or are there 5 people about to hit? I am coming now. You can also see completed sessions, so how many that we've handled. And this is looks like it's fairly, yeah, since we started doing this. So some kind of stats, not the most useful necessarily from this end, but we can check and track checkouts that were done through this click and collect. So we should be able to get some kind of stats that way. And canceled is, again, if you are curious, how many people started the process and then said, for whatever reason, cancel pickup request. So you can see, okay, are a lot of people starting and then canceling? Are a lot of people not following through with this? Again, for more staff knowledge than anything else.
And the mobile app, statistics from the mobile app are just not the greatest yet. It's, you know, it's like we don't know how many, we can't tell how many of your patrons are using the mobile app in general. We can, I mean, we can see how many people have downloaded it from the store and some of that stuff. We can see if they have been searching, using your library,
looking
sort of that channel, but it doesn't mean that they actually did anything.
It also doesn't mean, okay, so someone looked at your library hours, we can tell. But we can't tell if that's one person who just cannot remember what time Nina is open on Tuesdays and is checking every single week, or if that's 90 different people checking once, or we can't tell that. We can tell that we have 2 people who are determinedly using it on an iPod Touch. Bless them. I don't know how, but they are. But we can't say, okay, those are two out in Berlin. That we just don't know.
So some things that we should also mention, like for trial period, Nina is trying this now with some of their staff people. And the way the trial works is there's a setting so that we can allow specific barcodes, specific users to see the click and collect on the app and prevent the general public from seeing it. Notice we just turned red. It's been 6 minutes.
Anyways.
And so, but once we go live, once if Nina decides to go live or whoever, once a library goes live, then all libraries, no, that's not how I should say it. Then the testing period is over, because then we can't limit it just to those staff. After that point, it would be a case of, if you want to try it, you just have to try it live with your patrons. I forgot what I was going to say about that. What else I was going to say about that?
I guess put your hands up now.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of those things. If you're interested in testing it out in sort of stealth mode.
Yep. If you want to wade gradually into this and you want to just see how it looks with a couple of staff people and not who knows who you've got for patrons who would be trying to use it. Like I said, put your hand up now. Let us know, hey, I'm interested in. Probably email me this, because chat is going to be hopefully saved, but I am not entirely certain. I did see Ruth put up her hand. I'm not sure if that is a question or the literal put up the hand.
Yeah, so if you really want to test it, send Melissa an email and include the barcodes of any staff any testers, anybody who wants for whom you want click and collect to appear. And I'm trying to think, is there anything else?
I'm trying to think.
That's most of what I think of.
Basically, it's fairly straightforward for staff as well as patrons. For staff, you do have to be at this god-awful URL that we can send you, and then you will bookmark, because I will guarantee you will never find that ever again. There are developments for them to have a friendlier URL. That's not available yet, so just as an initial step, it's going to have to be bookmark and pray.
And they're also
Yep. They are also working on, for patrons who don't have a smartphone, patrons who don't have something that can have an app on it, not even an iPod Touch. They are working on a website so that patrons can place a request through a website, which of course then could be linked to your library website or another fashion. Again, that's being worked on. It is not live yet, and we will let you know as soon as that happens.
Any other questions? Okay.
Carla, Melissa, thank you for sharing. I hadn't seen the test before this meeting, and it makes me a little sad I'm not in a library to test it out, because
it's really slick.
And it's nice that staff who don't even know workflows could be doing the service, which is great, and checking things out to patrons.
And I mean, at the risk of jinxing things, and maybe Nina should pipe up, but we haven't run into many problems with our testing. I mean, we haven't noticed it. I mean, we've got various stages of blocked and whatever, and it seems to handle the checkouts like it's supposed to, which to me is almost magic. The fact that it could check out to 2 people with one click of a button, multiple things, and get it right is, is pretty.
The fact that I am shocked at is that you can have, you know, Oshkosh have their set of things to send to patrons, and Nina has their set of things to send to patrons, and Berlin has their set of things to send to patrons, and it all seems to be fine. And it's like, okay,
Yeah, we're really waiting for the other shoe to
we're
to
really
drop,
waiting for the other shoe to drop.
but so far so good.
That's great. And I think we'll also make an effort, to get more people to download the app, and we'll brainstorm here at the system level of how to help you guys encourage patrons to have the app so that this continues to be more and more successful. Alrighty, the next thing on the agenda, I wanted to open this up to any folks to share if they've had any successes with curbside, as we're continuing to talk about curbside. And I know that that will be the primary way that many of our libraries will be interacting with patrons in the coming months. And so I just wanted anyone who said, you know, this has worked really well in our curbside experience, or we made balloons and our patrons really like it, or have had this experience. I just wanted to open up and let anyone share any curbside stories or tips and tricks that you might have. And if not, we'll move on, but I'll give it another minute. So
I can add something if it's okay.
Please.
This is Sandy. Okay. Does it say, yeah, it says my name on here. I'm using a little iPad because our Wi-Fi is down. And so that's why I was late coming in, because I couldn't get hooked in. So it's really a pain. But anyway, what we do is we have the people come, and if they have a cell phone, they call us when they're there. They kind of give us a heads up when they're leaving, and then we make sure everything's ready. Well, then if they get there, then they call us, and that's what we've been doing. And then we go out and take it to their car, either put it in their trunk or put it right in the front seat or back seat, you know, wherever they open the window up. And then we also have deliveries. So within town and within, I would say probably 3 miles circumference, we've been making a few deliveries. And it's mostly people that, you know, really can't get out, or they're scared to go out, so that we can still service those people. And we put them in bags, leave them at the door, ring the doorbell or whatever. Usually they see us right away. And that's been working really, really well. Of course, it takes a little more staffing time, but it works. So
that's great.
This is Gretchen. Can I brag?
Please.
Is that okay? October was a really big month for us for curbside deliveries. It was a 97% increase over our previously high month. We delivered 4,362 deliveries, curbside deliveries in October. That's 161 deliveries every day, 18 deliveries per hour. So Nina's staff are hustling. It's a lot of manpower to keep curbside going.
Well, and that's how your library is currently open, right, Gretchen?
Yes, we are not open to the public.
But that's great that people are still utilizing your library so well. Yeah. And we'll talk a little bit about that later on in the meeting. So keep your brain on how all the successes your libraries have had this past couple months, because I'll bring it up later. Okay. We are going to move on to breakout rooms. So here's your prompt for your breakout room, which is this is actually a question that Nicole from Marcus Ann shared with me. Of many of your libraries employ part-time staff or volunteers or elderly staff, and when the job is not a requirement for their salary or their livelihood, how do you make those people feel valued when the work has really changed this past year? And when people don't really feel comfortable about going out, but you still need your 10-hour staff folks, your volunteers, your shelvers, but they don't feel like they're getting as much out of it as they once did. Do you think I captured your question well, Nicole?
Yeah, I think you did. It's kind of like, how do you keep your part-time staff that's not a living wage staff as happy as they can be during these times? So yeah, you did a good job. Thanks.
Yeah, so we're going to break out into breakout rooms. You'll have a little thing on your screen that will pop up that says you've been assigned to this room number, and you will click on that button and we'll go to that room and you guys will talk about that, and then we'll come back about 10 minutes afterwards and sort of share back of what you guys talked about. So, and if you do need help, oh, right, and if anybody who's just here for Click and Connect, you guys can leave if you would like. Obviously, we'd like you to stay, but you don't have to stay. If you do need help from me, I'll be able to pop through the rooms, and will be a little question mark on your lower corner that will say, get my attention, and I will come to your room. And then after about the 10 minutes, I'll send a message and say we're about done, and you'll see a small blue button on the bottom right hand of your screen that says leave breakout room. Not leave meeting, because then you'll leave the meeting. But if you leave breakout room, you'll come back to this main room. So that's my little technical information before I send you out. All righty, let's see if we can do this. And you know what, here it is. Let's see, we're gonna create, how many of us are here currently? Let's see. We have 30 people. We're gonna break out into we're gonna break out into 5 rooms. So there'll be about 6 people in each room. All righty. Hopefully you.
Turn on your mics, yeah.
Hello.
That works
There
so
we go.
slick.
Yeah, that did work. I'm impressed.
So I can start with that if you guys want, because I kind of addressed this with our friends group, and said, because they usually give us a Christmas party. So last March when we closed down, that's usually about the time when we do it because Christmas is too busy. So we always push it into early spring, February, March. So they actually gave all of our staff gift certificates for the local spa.
Oh, nice.
And
Wow.
they, because they had money that they normally would have given us for other things in the library that we couldn't have, they decided to boost the staff morale, and they very much appreciated that they could use it either for in the spa. This is at Dandelion Farm in Berlin, and they're just a fantastic new business, relatively new, but they just moved to a new location and they just added their spa services in. So I'm using mine Friday, so I'm really excited.
Oh, nice.
That's a great idea.
And they're supporting a local business. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess I don't have any kind of group to tap in like that, and my board wouldn't do anything like that, I don't think.
Yeah, I don't think my board would either. And we only had, before this closing, we only had one volunteer that came every week, and she's older, and so she's just staying home, and she doesn't want to have really, I mean, she'll come in and get books and she'll wear a mask and she'll come in and then she'll leave. And she's been pretty good about, getting that. She needs her books to read, but she's content with the situation. And my part-timer, like someone else said, they don't work that many. She usually works, 8 hours a week. So she's working one day. And when she gets that time off where she did for a while, she just said, oh, that's great. That just gives me more time to do something. But, I want to get back in there. And the thing that's disappointing to her is that we don't have as many people coming in that she can talk to and, and greet. There's a few that are, of course, but we don't have browsing. So they come in and they pick up stuff, or we do some shopping for them and look for, items for them that what they want. Lots of times when they come in for movies, they'll come in and say, oh, I want something adventure, and then they come up with, and we've already taken and put all of our DVDs under categories. So it helps when we go to look for things for people that these are all adventures, these are thrillers, these are comedy, action, some of them fall like they're 2 ways, but we sort of take the majority of what, the ones they have. So, yeah. So that's what we've been doing. And I haven't thought about doing something for them, but I think because I'm leaving, I think I'm going to give everybody a little going away gift from me. You know, thank you for all the help you've given me and all that. So I will be doing that. And our friends group and our library board, they never have done anything for us. So it's always for the library, which is fine. But yeah.
I kind of broached it a little bit with my board. I was hoping I could get like a certain set of funds because, you know, being a little library, it's not, you know, it's just with the funds that you have and be like, can I spend this amount of money on my staff? And it wasn't that they weren't like, don't spend money on your staff. They were just like, pull it out of whatever category you can kind of thing. They didn't want to make a specific category. So like the little stuff, I don't think they mind about. Like for instance, I asked, well, at staff meetings, can I buy food? You know, can I do that kind of stuff? And they were like, yeah. And like before I was getting summer reading t-shirts and that's like just within the job scope, you know, we're going to give you this. We got a little bit of donated, a gift card from the local, from just the patron. And she said, use it on staff. It was only $25, but we spent it on pizza, a full pizza that they could have for a meeting. But I guess I'm just trying really hard to like tell them how wonderful they are and how much I still really, really need them and try to like just constantly, almost constantly be like, you know, you're really special, you're really needed because they are. I have like this, Marquezan is really different because I have this large staff for this little library and we're all we're all part-timers, including myself at this point. And it's just, yeah, you know, how do you, and just being as flexible as possible with their hours. And that's the big thing that they love here, you know, is what everybody really loves here. So I don't know, it's tough. I know when I worked at Watoma, we would do these things for the volunteers where we'd have a party at the end of the year and we were trying to keep costs down. So we'd get like, we'd do puns on like, you know, thanks for chipping in. We did a you know, so anything like little that you do, but if you add that little bit of a fun thing to
I have to answer the phone.
I think that helps, but I don't know. That's why I asked the question. I was looking for more ideas.
Nicole, I think it would be really beneficial, and I think it would stress your personal thank you to even just hand write a thank you to everybody. Because I think just to you taking the time and maybe personalizing that and saying, I really appreciate that you were flexible, changing schedules, this, you know, or whatever it would be, you know, just personalize. That's kind of what I'm planning on doing for the upcoming Christmas holiday. I don't know if I'll spend any more than that because we're doing a gift exchange with staff, but you know, I kind of thought a personal thank you to each one would be, you know, would be good. And it wouldn't cost you anything. You don't have to put anything in there. I think they know the budget restraints that you're under. And I'm not sure, Joy, if you know, I was under the assumption that the library could not purchase other than like staff meeting and t-shirts, that kind of stuff. I did not think that that public funds could be used towards staff. I was told that one time along the way. So I'm not sure if that's true or not. I mean, it's different if you're buying pizza for a staff meeting or, you know, donuts for the back room or whatever, but beyond that, I'm not sure.
I'm unfamiliar with the policy regarding that, but Claire Ellen, when she pops back into the meeting room, she may have an idea about that.
Well, I think the t-shirts, you could actually make the argument that it's like a uniform and that they're advertising for your events. So
right, and that's
that you're totally safe on.
Yeah, I agree with that.
You know,
that's why I reached out to the friends to do something over and above what they normally would get in the work setting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the friends would be totally safe to buy a gift, whereas over the normal budget, yeah, you're muddying the water.
That is a good idea. Yeah, maybe we do have to check that. But like a normal business, they have that kind of stuff. I mean, they have that ability. They can incentivize.
You keep hearing these big corporations are giving a lot of gifts lately and really thinking their employees, were at the public level, you get nothing.
And some places have given hazard pay. I mean, they just have. you know?
Yeah, and then how do you keep your employees in the public setting where the board doesn't even acknowledge you as being a good employee?
Yeah.
There was a volunteer match webinar I don't know if it has occurred or if there's a recording of it, about showing appreciation to your volunteers. I will dig that up and see if if that has any thoughts that would be of help.
Yeah, I mean, what I've done for my staff, I went after Halloween and, candy was super cheap. I just bought it myself and I put it out for my staff and with a little note that's like, thank you, because, what can I do? And all of our sorters, which, they're all 8 or 11 hours a week. So obviously this is for none of them their main job, but we need to keep deliveries moving. So, but a lot of thanking them and, letting them know they're appreciated.
Would, if we ask Claire Ellen about the public funds, would you be, if that's a no, would donated funds be something that you could use? Like undesignated donated funds, you know?
I think as long as it's not public funds, you're not using your regular budget, municipality budget. I think that would be in a different category, but that would be something to have to check.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I mean, even you have a really cool flower shop in, I mean, even if you got a couple flowers with a nice note or something, it would be maybe a little something.
Actually, I kind of did that a little bit already, just for one staff member, because they were doing she was doing a promotion where she was giving out flowers, And so I went down there and I got some, and then I gave it to a staff member, and she was extremely excited about it. So
yay.
That's a good idea. Yeah. And my staff really likes food. So food, we all love food. And Chris, I really appreciated that time when I worked for you, when you made that awesome, delicious breakfast bake.
That's on the menu for our Christmas party. We're
But
having a
just so
small.
you know, I really liked it.
That
Actually,
is
that's a
other-
really good idea.
The other thing I've done is baked stuff and brought it in because, I have a lot of time at home because I'm not going anywhere. And it's like, okay, I'm going to try this new cookie recipe, but I obviously do not need to eat an entire batch. So kind of helps me to, give me something to do and, shows them a little bit of appreciation.
I know, like here, this is just an idea I just got right now. So I'm just brainstorming. Like here, all of a sudden, like the craft packs are really going crazy. Maybe a craft pack for staff or something like that. Hi, Claire Ellen.
Hi, we're wrapping up. So if you want to join the main room, you can do that now.
So
Did you-
this room?
Yeah, did you?
I did not send a message. I am verbally jumping room to room to say, hi, how are you doing? Where are you in the conversation?
This is so
This is another
sci-fi.
trophy.
I'm super excited.
About the breakout room?
Yeah, about the whole jumping from room to room. Yeah.
Oh, it is
sci-fi. I like it a lot.
I like when no one wants to drive in the car with me because I'm changing the radio station literally every 30 seconds. So this really satisfies that need for me. I'm like, I would like to hear 30 seconds from like lots of different conversations. So.
Well, there was a question that came up that seemed like something you might know about.
Oh, okay.
Which one of you had it? It was about using funds.
Yeah, I remember hearing something that you could not use public funds for employees with non-work related gifts. Are you familiar with that at all?
That's a great question. I don't want to speak. I'm not 100%. But that is something I can look into, and maybe somebody else might have more recent knowledge than I do, because other people were talking about gifts as well. So we'll bring it up at the main meeting And if there's not a clear answer, then I will research it for you.
Sounds good.
Great. I'm going to go talk to the other two groups to let them know we're done.
Okay.
So do we get a message
It's
again?
really good to see you guys.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
good to see people.
Yeah, we'll get a message that's like a blue thing that'll say, please come back to the main room.
Yeah. You have 30 seconds usually, or a minute. I just attended, Joy, I'm going to send you, I just attended the Lead the Way conference.
Oh, good.
And they had breakout rooms. They had breakout rooms also, and it worked really slick. But there was a presenter there from Wills that was really good, and it was about virtual meetings and the protocol and how to and so forth. And I'll send you the specific information. I think it would be excellent to do for Winnefox, or more broad if you want. But I've attended a lot of different, virtual meeting type seminars and webinars and so forth. But this one was really good. The gals were very enthusiastic and had some really good hints.
Is that Andy Coffin?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. I don't have it right in front of me, but we just wrapped up like a couple hours ago. So I was going to send you it. I just haven't had time yet.
No problem. Yeah, Andy and her coworker did a free webinar maybe last month. And yeah, so, okay, cool.
Mm-hmm. Sandy, so it's retirement for you?
Yeah.
Sorry.
I was asking the same thing. Retirement for Sandy? Oh.
So she turned off her camera. There she is.
I was just trying to unmute and I'm on somebody else's stuff. So yeah, I'm excited to retire. I really am.
Congratulations.
Yeah, I'm ready for it.
Yeah, it's a good time to retire.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually I agree. So, okay, well, I guess we got to go to the other room.
Yeah.
Yep. See you in the main room.
Okay.
Things that folks are doing. Lori should talk about the staff pet day.
Ooh.
Yeah, when we were recarpeting the library a couple of years ago, we had various staff bring their pets in for a visit, and that was really popular. So we did it again last week, and it was only for staff. So, they kind of snuck in a back door to a meeting room and staff could go and say hello. And one of our employees brought 2 chickens and another employee brought her 2 dogs and her rabbit. So yeah, so it was good because we hear the employees talking about their furry friends, and now we got to meet them, and I didn't know how soft chickens were. So
Therapy chickens.
Yep, they were. It was very
Learned at a recent Winnebago LAC that there's a lot of pets among the Winnebago directors. And so maybe that's going to be.
Well, that's the nice thing with Zoom. I mean, even chickens or whatever, we can make a cameo on the camera.
But it's nice to pet something. That's great.
That's true.
What other great things or ideas did you guys share in your meeting, in your breakout rooms? Okay, Chris had a question. Why don't we talk about Chris Kalupa's question and then we'll go back to more discussion.
So my question, I remember hearing someplace at some point in some time that public funds should not be used for gifts for employees other than work related. And I'm not sure if I'm remembering that correctly. Can anybody help with that?
And I said, if no one had an answer, I would look into it for her. But as we're talking about parties or bringing food in, is just if anyone remembered or have better clarification about that.
I know.
I don't know if there's
Go ahead, Desiree.
I don't know if there's a statute, but my city specifically has a policy that you cannot accept gifts in a certain amount of money, because we had a patron a couple of years ago try to give select staff members $50 each, and they were not allowed to accept that. So we told him he could make a general donation to our Sunshine Fund, and he did not want to do that. And he was very insulted that we turned it down. So, but yeah, our city has a policy, so I would check with your city.
I will say at Oshkosh, when we have explored the idea of, say, purchasing like branded clothing for staff, or when our board wants to give a thank you gift to departing trustees, they always use trust funds for those sorts of things. Again, there's probably a policy. I'm not sure if there's a statute. At Desiree, there is a statute about public officials accepting gifts over certain dollar levels. So you do have to be careful with it. And I think Desiree's advice of checking with your local city attorney or municipal attorney is a good idea.
I seem to remember too, in my many years of being here, that there was something discussed about the fact that you weren't, and so it never happened here that we did that. We did a gift exchange between us, which was kind of fun, and I think we didn't do it last year, but I don't remember why. I think time just got away from us or something, and we only have a small staff, so it's kind of hard to have exchange names and all that. But yeah, no, I agree. I think there is something that you're not supposed to do that. So,
Joy linked to a webinar happening on December 2nd, creative and innovative recognition strategies for today's volunteers, which I think is good of how do we make sure that people are valued and how important all the staff are to making the library as successful as possible. So, did any other good conversations come out of the breakout rooms that people want to summarize? Other than Pet Day, which I love. I want Nicole to have some resources. And so I want to make sure that, or if it's just saying, just telling your staff it's hard. And at the end of the day, being that person to say it's hard and hopefully we can make it through together.
I'll mention something that it sounds kind of bureaucratic and dry, but we were assessing a position level for filling a vacancy, and Marie looked at the position description it's in the children's department here, and basically came to the conclusion that the duties in that position were of a higher level than the classification. So she persuaded me that we should upclass those positions, which resulted in about a $2.50 an hour raise for the people doing those jobs, and a better salary for the person that we're hiring too. So, doing the regular things that you need to do with an eye towards supporting staff, I think and just kind of making that touching base, personal contact, a smile, those sorts of things, they help in small ways. But our upclass of those positions was really appreciated by the staff who are in those roles, and they're 16-hour-a-week positions.
Jeff, this is Marie. I did mention that in our breakout session, just like sort of touched on it briefly. And what I found interesting was the feedback I got when those people were surprised with the upclass. They said, "Oh, Marie, we love working here, and we think that what we do is important. We think that we're treated well," and that was just a big surprise, icing on the cake. So, I just thought that was good after the fact, that a lot of people are using a very part-time position without benefits as a way to keep connected to their community, get out of the house. But on the other hand, we also had a very part-time employee leave during COVID because that was really that person's forte, is connecting with people in person. And so, that happens too sometimes. So, thanks.
Jeannie Williams said that she brings folks jelly, which I can say from experience is very good. And I know Gretchen mentioned that they do provide food during the workday sometimes for their staff as well.
I posted in the chat a link to a why it pays to praise and 40 ways to say good job. This came out of the Leading with Gratitude seminars, webinars that I've attended. And you know, I mean, the upshot of that whole Leading with Gratitude just is how much better people do when they have positive feedback rather than excuse me, rather than the sort of pressure to perform. There's, oh God, I can't talk anymore. Sorry, but praise and positive reinforcement is more effective than criticism and fear for getting folks to do their jobs well. Thank you.
Alrighty, I think we'll move on to open it up. I just put this on the agenda, concerns from the library, staffing, funding, services. I know this will be an opportunity for you to share anything that's on your mind. And if we don't have anything, that's fine. I know a number of you have been working with short staff because of exposures and positive tests. And I know many of you since our last check-in have moved to curbside only. And we're looking at a long winter. And so I just wanted to open it up for anyone who wants feedback or reassurance or answers to any questions you might be having.
Can I just say that I don't know if we'll have Holly or Sandy for a future check-in or not. And we're losing both of them from our community of libraries, which is a big loss to us, but happy trails to them, we hope. So, you know, I've just loved working with both of you. I want you to know.
I was going to say, Jeff, you skipped ahead, but I'm glad you
Thanks,
did because
Jeff.
apparently Sandy.
That's because I don't read agendas.
I have to leave. I have to go get my granddaughter.
Well, Sandy, it's been wonderful working with you, and this
you.
will probably be our last meeting with you. So just wish you best of luck in your retirement, and yeah, enjoy your time.
Okay. Yeah, I will. I'm looking forward to it. Thank you. Okay, we'll see you later.
Bye.
Bye.
And for those of you who don't know, Holly is taking a position as the director of the Kimberly Public Library. So she will be leaving in mid next month. And so if you know of anybody who's interested in being a library director, we have 3 open positions currently at Winneconne, Coloma, and Plainfield. So.
Congratulations, Holly.
Yeah, do you want to share anything?
Hi, I don't have much to share. Sorry, I've been kind of up and down because I'm on the desk, but yeah, I'm really excited about moving on to Kimberly. They are changing from a joint library to a municipal library, and maybe you don't all know, but Winneconne has been looking into becoming a joint library. So I kind of use that knowledge in reverse for Kimberly, which worked out well for me. So I'm very excited. This week, I'm working already like 5 hours a week, really part-time. And this week we're working on figuring out who's going to be working for each library, because the Little Chute Library also has a new director, Catherine Freund. She was the children's librarian in Clintonville.
And is on the Winnefox board.
Yeah, she also serves on the Winnefox board. She's been wonderful to work with. And we're kind of working together on staffing. So it's been really fun so far. I'm looking forward to it.
Well, we're going to be rooting for you.
Thank you. And I'm going to miss working with all the people in Winnefox. I really love Winnefox. Thank you, everyone.
Any other news from the libraries? No, everything's the same.
You know, I'd like to weigh in on our service model because it's a little bit different from what other folks have been pursuing. You know, we never really kind of open generally for browsing. We're still in our phase 1 plan, and it's been based on controlled access, appointments, limited numbers of people. kind of watching the occupancy levels. I'll be taking 2 proposals to the library board here in Oshkosh on Thursday to, within those guidelines, to open up a little bit more. We're planning to shift our library materials delivery model from main emphasis on curbside to basically walk in and pick it up from the desk. It'll all be ready for them and it'll be bagged and ready to go. We will not turn away somebody who feels hesitant to come in the building. So curbside won't entirely go away, but we're kind of going to shift our weight from curbside to walk-in. This is all pending approval by the board, of course. And then the other service that we're looking at is providing providing access to students in 6th grade and up to use our meeting rooms for Wi-Fi access for kids who don't have reliable internet at home to participate in their school tasks. We're going to limit that to maximum 11 people at a time between our main meeting room and our conference room, socially distanced, requiring proper use of masks, having students wipe down the desk when they leave. So we feel that within this same model of controlled and regulated access that we can continue. Got some pushback from my board. That's why it's going to the board for them to decide whether we should move forward with these or not. So we will, we're looking to allow some more access to the building. Still no browsing access, no meetings, no programs.
I know Desiree has been doing that. How's that been going? Opening the library up to students?
It has not been used.
Oh.
Ripon is still in hybrid, but yeah, it's just we had one boy coming for a little while and then he stopped and I haven't seen him for a couple weeks now. So
okay,
not a lot in demand.
Good to provide the service even if people, it's better that they don't need it.
Right. Well, we'll offer it, and we may experience what Ripon's experienced. It may, be a minimal turnout. We'll see. We plan to work with the school district, private schools, and homeschoolers to let them know that it's there. But we can't predict what level of use there will be. We'll see.
We're offering it, and kind of surprised college students have been the ones popping in, which is they're home and they don't have Wi-Fi. And we've had a couple moms pop in. I need to get away from my kids. Can I do my work here for a few hours? We've been letting them use the space. So
there's been a lot of talk of how the strain of parenting, working from home and parenting has been for folks, so which some of you might be experiencing. All righty. Anything else anyone wants to share before some updates and reminders from myself and Joy? No? Great. Oh, Lisa just says, Holly, it's going to be great. Well, we're going to miss you and wish you the best of luck. Reminder to, if you are interested in looking at library comics and talking about library articles, you should join the Winnefox Facebook page. It's not very active yet, but I have high hopes and I'll just keep posting to it. It's fun. Next, and this is more important, I'm just going to put another plug in for the library services status, which is on the extranet. Please keep that updated. That is the information that I use to update a spreadsheet that the DPI and LD&L use to talk to legislators. And with that in mind, something that we're thinking about as we're moving forward and we're talking about all the services that libraries are providing, we're going to try to avoid using the word closed because it makes it seem like libraries are not there for the public, even when your buildings might not be open to the public. There's still so many services that your libraries are offering, even curbside, remotely, online programming, electronic resources, et cetera. So in a way to be better advocates for ourselves and for future budgets coming from the state and possibly from the county, I just want to give that information out to your folks that we're trying to steer away from the word closed and also trying to keep up to date information with our legislators as much as possible about the services that libraries are providing and the statuses of the services that you're providing. So please keep that extranet page updated so that I can keep the rest of the state updated about your status. And as that's sort of tied in, if you have stories of successes with patrons, please let me know or let the folks with LD&L know. I don't know yet, because I'm not involved with LD&L, what Library Legislative Day in February is going to look like, but we are currently in the middle of a new, they are putting together a new budget down at the state, and we're not sure what that budget is going to look like. We're hopeful that it'll at least be the funding that we've received in the years past. Obviously, an increase would be great for systems. But
Library Legislative Day is going to be virtual, and it's going to take place over a couple of days, like 3 or 4 days with the appointments spread out.
Thanks, Desiree. I really appreciate you being here. And so I think having start gathering those stories, because that's really the main thing about advocacy, is stories of this student used our Wi-Fi, or these kids really enjoyed these make and take crafts, or we've seen all these people sign up for electronic books that haven't ever used it before. Click and Connect is this amazing resource, or however we've done these home deliveries, etc. So just something to always keep in mind of, not only are we just providing to our local patrons, we're telling a story about the importance of libraries are in our communities, and that narrative is going to get shared more broadly, and it's up to librarians and folks involved with libraries to direct what that narrative says. And so just hoping that you guys will be involved in that process. And the last thing, I'm going to turn it over to Joy to talk about. This is the exciting new webinar thing that's happening. I mean, yes, both.
Webinar thing, yep. I'm going to share my screen so you can see the information about it as I'm talking about it. This is a 1-hour webinar that will be on Tuesday, December 8th. It'll be at 1 p.m. So those of you have an LAC meeting in the morning on Tuesday, December 8th. This will be in the afternoon. Plus, if you're not able to attend it live, it will be recorded. So it's considered resilience training and compassion resilience. And what they're talking about here is helping you deal with the stress and the fatigue and the burnout of everyday life in the library, and also where, in your entire life. So it will be talking about practicing real-time and ongoing self-care. And this first webinar will be 1 hour, and attending this first webinar on December 8th will give you some of like 3 to 5 tools that are part of the Rogers InHealth product service that they offer. DPI is using LSTA funds to contract with Rogers to allow librarians to use their compassion resilience toolkit. So this first training, you will walk away from that 1 hour with 3 to 5 techniques that you can use. So it's be very practical in that initial session. In addition, there will be a series of 4 online training sessions. There will be 2 in January and 2 in February. Each of those training sessions will be 3 hours each. It'll be 9 a.m. to noon. And I believe the focus for that is so that people who attend these training sessions will then be able, it's kind of a train the trainer session. Well, they'll then be able to share their knowledge within their library system, within their library. So I will have more information about the trainer sessions, and I think we will all learn more about that at the December 8th session. And Claire Ellen, we were talking before the meeting started, you heard a little bit, you got an update at your meeting this morning about this?
Yes, just the train the trainer session, like Joyce said, is for libraries to take on the ability to provide these resources to their staff. And the plan of that is that you would sign up as a team. So you would have members of your management team or members of your staff go through this process, versus this one in December is for you to use. So if you are a solo librarian, or if you're a librarian with not needing to do a lot of staff training and that kind of, you'll just need to do the December 8th one. However, if you want to be getting more resources for your larger staff, you might want to consider looking at the January and February 4-week series to give you resources to lead your staff through this process.
Cool. And I shared a link to the page in chat, so that will be clickable there. And yeah.
And that's it, I think, for us.
This is Holly.
Yes.
I'm sorry, I was at the desk again and I came back at the tail end of that. Did you say that if you wanted to share that information about resilience training with your staff, that you attend one of those workshops and get the information to share, or is that meant for your, like, a whole staff in service?
I'm not quite sure what you're asking. I will say the December 8th one is open for anyone.
Okay.
And if you would like to attend that, if you would like your staff to attend it, it is available, and it is to provide resources to the individual who might need it dealing with stress or dealing with burnout. If this is something that you're interested in being a person who provides that information to your staff, and so they don't attend the webinar, or if you want to do continual in-service training with your staff in the future, then you would sign up for the January, February thing. I think everyone, if you're at all interested in it, sign up for the December one, and I think there'll be more information about the upcoming more extensive training in the new year.
Okay, thank you.
Yes. And somebody wrote in chat about the mask mandate expiring, and I don't know anything about that at this point in time. That might be a conversation I have with the DPI folks. Yes, that sounds awful if things were to be any worse than they are now. But I don't know what that necessarily means legally for your libraries, other than what it was like before without the mask mandate, which is depending on what your municipality is willing to support in your area. And obviously, I would encourage all of you to continue to require masks. And it is just a little after 3, so I'm going to let you go because you spent enough time with me, but I appreciate all the time you do spend with me. And I am not planning on having a check-in in December unless people say, yes, let's have one. I know December is a nice time to get away, but maybe none of us are getting away. So maybe you do want to have one. You know what I'll do as I'm saying this out loud, I'll send out a poll, and if you would like to attend, or if you're planning on attending, or you want me to host one, check yes. And if you don't, check no, and then we'll see if there's enough interest. So.
And can I just pipe in quick and remind people, we are still doing ILL, and items are actually starting to come a little bit faster now, because a lot of the systems have shortened the quarantine. They're not doing it in so many places. It's not getting quarantined at the library and then at the system and then at South Central. So items are coming faster. So yeah, you're welcome to send through requests for your patrons, or if you're at a point now where you have time and you have questions about ILL or how you should be doing something, feel free to send me a message and we can do a little, Teams thing, and I can walk you through stuff or whatever. So.
Thanks, Michelle. That's great. Wonderful. All righty. Have a good afternoon, folks.